ninth grade students, how are you doing? I hope all of you are safe and are enthusiastic to learn today. Today's lesson is going to be for Tuesday, the 24th of March. We're going to continue with our Unit 8, but today we're going to cover the reported questions. You can find that on your books, page 90. If you have any inquiries or if you have any questions after this explanation, make sure that you go and write an email to this following email address. To get started, I would like to remind you that I have sent you a document. In this document, you will find the answer key for your previous assignments. So please make sure that you go and check the answers of your homework. And before we get started, I thought that I would share a joke with you. It says, what is the purpose of having school? Student. Without school, there wouldn't be a reason for holidays and summer vacation. Well, now that we are at our houses, that doesn't mean that we should stop learning. On the other hand, we should have more perseverance and more passion to learn because it doesn't stop at the location. Now, let's have a quick recap between direct and indirect question forms. We said that if we have WH questions like where is Tonto Street, then I should keep the question form and it will go on as such. Can you tell me where Tonto Street is? What time does the supermarket open? Do you know what time the supermarket opens? So see here the consistency of the WH questions. We don't change it. However, the word order changes from the direct into the indirect. How much do you earn? Could you tell me how much you earn? And the list goes on. As for the yes and no questions, we said that we should add if, whether, plus the positive form word order. As in, are you living in London? I'd like to know if you are living in London. Or does John like flying? Do you know whether John likes flying? Now, don't worry if you're still not having a good grasp of it, but make sure that you keep on practicing so that you will be excellent in this field. So, you can follow me in your books if you'd like. So, we're going to start with the first question. Now, I want you, please, to think for a moment and come up with some ideas. Like, how can people send messages over long distances without using electronic technology or electronic devices? So, think of the 17th, 16th century, how people used to communicate. Make sure that you check these photos to help you come up with some ideas. Well, I have here some for you. I think that people used to communicate using smoke signals, carrier pigeons, and messages in a bottle. Well, if you have any other ideas, make sure that you share them with me for next time. Now, I want you please to listen to a transcript that I'll be reading, and during or after you finish, make sure that you tell me which kind of film that is. And please let me know how did you know that, for example, it's an action film, comedy, or horror, and so on. So, let's start. Captain Hunter, this is the lady I told you about. She's the one who passed on that message about the plans for invasion. Come in, sit down. Will you tell us your name? I'm sorry, I can't tell you that. Well, I need to ask you some questions. Is that all right? Of course. When did you receive the message? Yesterday morning, and another one today. I see. Who is sending the messages? I cannot tell you that because I don't know. Really? That's strange. But I knew the messages were important, so I wanted you to see them as soon as possible. But why? Why do you want to help us? Enemy soldiers took my father away. I think he is dead. I see. I'm sorry. I'm no friend of the enemy. That's what you want me to believe. Can I trust you? Yes, you can. I promise. How did you learn to speak English? My father is English. Was English. Really? I see. So you see, I'm really on your side. I hope so. Will there be another message tomorrow? I don't know. I think maybe. Yes, depends. Sir, Colonel Smith from military command is on the phone. He says it's urgent. Now, please let me know what you think of this transcript. Do you think it's an action film, war film, western, musical, or science fiction? Well, I hope that you got the answer right. It's war film. How do we know? Because we had some clues. It said Captain Hunter, invasion, enemy, soldiers, I really am on your side, Colonel Smith from military command, and so on. So, of course, we cannot work in pairs, but what we can do is that we can have our siblings next to us or our parents, and they will be our partners. Now, read the reported questions that Captain Hunter asked the women. Then listen again and write the exact words the captain used. So, I'll give you a minute. If you want, please make sure you pause the video so that you can read the reported questions and then write the answers. The answers would go on like this. Please make sure you pause it as well so that you can correct your own answers. Now, reported questions. Please follow with me. We use the verb ask or tell to report a question. We use ask, so we have to circle this. The tenses, as they do in the reported statement, do they change or not? Of course they do, so we circle this. Pronouns and time expressions, do they change in question forms? Of course, yes. The word order in the reported question is the same as the statement or the question, subject before verb. Of course, the statement. We use or don't use do and did in the reported questions. Of course, we do or don't. We don't. Yes, you guessed it right. Instead, we use WH questions and direct questions. And finally, we use if, that, or whether to report yes or no questions. We have to use if, correct. Now, I want you please to rewrite the questions as the reported questions in here, and remember to make the necessary changes to tenses, pronouns, and other references such as time, place, and so on. Here are the answers. Please make sure that you correct them and check them thoroughly. So, here we have another part of the film. I want you please to complete the text below with the reporter's speech. Before you listen to the excerpt, make sure that you fill it in. And after that, you can check if you got your answers right. So, let's get started. The woman asked if her messages had been helpful. Captain Hunter said they had saved a lot of lives. He asked her who had sent the messages to her. She replied that her cousin had sent them from her office. She said he worked at enemy high command. The captain asked her how he had sent the messages in secret. She said he had used the sun and the mirror. The captain asked her why his messages had stopped. The woman replied the weather had turned cloudy. So I'm pretty sure that you got the answers correctly because I believe and I trust in you. Now, I want you again to pick your partner or turn around to the person who is trying to help you. If you're all alone, make sure that you pause the video and try to include your partners or siblings. So I want you to work with them. Try to write 4 questions and answers using the prompts below. The first one is already done for you. You can use that and follow this example so that you can complete the rest of the questions. Now, assignment for next week will be to work or do the exercise on your workbook, page 87. If you feel like you want to practice more, you can always go online and check Perfect Grammar Lessons website for further exercises. I hope that you're going to stay at your houses and not move from there unless it's really urgent so that you can stay safe. Remember that it's not only for you, it's for the people that you love. So, see you next lesson.